Trevor Jackson Podcast.
You know, I remember covering this around the time that it happened, the Tyre Nichols situation in Memphis, Tennessee. And me being originally from Tennessee, it really struck a nerve because I have seen things like this happen before in real life, right in front of my eyes. Something that I'm still traumatized from. And sometimes my reactions to interactions with police be like, crazy. They be different because I'm aware of certain things that I don't think that the normal person have to dealt with in their lifetime. Well, I know the normal person hasn't dealt with in their lifetime. And to see this be black brothers and to see the way that they carried themselves and spoke to that young brother like that when he was already apprehended. Why continue on when he's already apprehended? How does they get justice when it's a multitude of people against one kid that was already apprehended and y'all continue to put hands on him? This system that America is structured by is very interesting, and it's very disheartening to see it continue on and nothing has changed. The ideologies and the perspectives of the government and the people that's in power hasn't changed to do nothing about it, just to keep this police structure going. And I feel as if the reason it's still going is to protect the finances, the people that's invested in prisons, the people that's invested in being able to make bonds and law schools and lawyers. And it's just deep, and it's so deeply embedded. I don't think nothing can be done about it. I really don't. And I think that the less outrage, we haven't heard that much outrage since around the COVID time, since George Floyd. I think that was so much outrage was gave that people are fatigued. People are just tired. Nobody is even showing outrage anymore behind these things. People speak about it, but where is the multitude of people in the street? Folks are at the point where they feel like nothing can be done. Now, I want to play this beginning, this video from Memphis of the family's response. And then I want to go back in time and play the initial, the thing that happened, the violence that accrued from the pullover. I want to play that also and give my take on it. I got a few notes right here to talk about it. And, we're just going to chop it up, man. I hope y'all having a good day, though. I hope this don't bring y'all vibration down. I hope this is just some information you can be entertained and you can learn from this also, because, I was raised by a sergeant, the first black sergeant, the first black Boy Scout in my hometown. And he taught me how to when I get pulled over, how to conduct myself. And the way I do conduct myself, a lot of people think that I'm being over obedient and, that I'm cooning or that I'm doing too much and I shouldn't have to do all of that. But I was taught this from the first black officer in my city, the first black Boy Scout in my city. And, I wish I could talk to other brothers and have a conversation about, I want to know in the comment section, when y'all get pulled over, what is the first thing that y'all do? And then when the conversation is about to start during a pullover, who speaks first? Do you let the officer speak to you first, or do you speak to the officer first? That's just something that I want to further the discussion in the comment section with, since I'm solo, man. So let's get right into the video, man. Let's see how the Tyre Nichols family react to the verdict.
All right, right now, let's kind of shift gears back to the National Civil Rights Museum.
And we understand that Tyre Nichols' family has arrived there. Let's take a look.
Gave the sixth haymaker to Tyre Nichols. Yesterday, to Darius Bean, Justin Smith, and Demetrius Haley, gave another kick a deadly kick to Tyre Nichols and this family. But we stand with this family to lift this family up in prayer. And to call on the God of justice to deliver real justice for Tyre Nichols. But we were not under any illusion yesterday or last week in trial with an all-white jury from Hamilton County in Chattanooga. We were not under any illusion. But it just wasn't any white jury from Hamilton County. It was the most racist and the most redneck jury that they could have ever found to preside over this case in the matter of justice for Tyre Nichols. It is what it is. The prosecution, they did their job.
Yes, they did.
But when you still live in America that they don't see black people, they see police and they see blue.
Right.
And yesterday was a result of an America that has not changed. And it seems like we're living in a world, we're living in America that's not going to change. Yesterday, the whole world cried out for Tyre Nichols.
Yes, we did.
This city cried out for Tyre Nichols in sincerity. But we had a few folks who had some crocodile tears.
That's right.
We had a few folks who had a few fake tears. We had a few folks in the city of Memphis that represent the city of Memphis, like Mayor Paul Young. Oh, you're not getting off the hook today, sir. You're not getting off the hook today, sir. We came to call you out today. We came to call out Chief of Police C.J. Davis. You're not getting off the hook today.
She need to be fired. Fire CJ.
If you're real and you love Tyre, you don't need no goddamn prompter. You don't need no script and go on social media and talk about your care and concern for Tyre Nichols and this citizen and these citizens. Mayor Young, if you love Tyre Nichols, you would have got rid of C.J. Davis. It's her unit that she brought from Atlanta and created the Scorpion unit right here in Memphis, Tennessee. That produced.
I want to talk about that for a minute because that's important. The lady he's speaking of, do your research on, C.J. Daniels. Now, even in albums, the Outcasts and the Goody Mobs, they talked about the Red Dogs in Atlanta and how they would come to your crib, bust in your crib, take all your stuff. May not take you to jail, but they'll take your money and your illegal substances and stuff. You know, the Red Dogs is infamous in Atlanta for doing wrong. And that unit was shut down in Atlanta because of the wrongdoings that they did. But for some reason, that lady was able to pick up from Atlanta, move to Memphis, change the name, and create the same structure that she created in Atlanta in Memphis. And what was the name? Because I wrote it down. The Scorpion Unit. And the Scorpion Unit, after this incident, doesn't exist anymore, but she's still in power. Let me play the video.
Produced a Tadarius Bean, a Justin Smith, a Demetrius Haley, a Emmett Martin. Huh? It is her that produced that.
Yes. And fail the training.
My Lord.
So we don't need no crocodile tears from leadership. We need real change, real love, real support in the city of Memphis. This city is hurting. It's not hurting from the lack of money. It's not hurting from the lack of education. It's not hurting from the lack of DEI. It ain't hurting from that. What this city is hurting from is from the lack of love.
Yes.
But what is love? We need love in leadership, not political BS.
That's right. Say it.
So, as Attorney Crump said to the city of Memphis, no matter what you do, you cannot wash the blood of Tyre Nichols off your hands.
Hey, that was so powerful what he said at the end, because I don't think that exists in America. I think, individuality is promoted in America when it comes to leadership. And I want to ask y'all a few questions too, because he said that love is needed within leadership. Now, when I look at jobs and I look at the military and I look at, sports industries, I just put the clip out of Judge Joe Brown talking about how at one time the NBA was racist, and how I put that clip out because I was looking for clips for this episode that I'm doing right now, because when I spoke with Judge Joe Brown, it was a week after this happened, because he was running for mayor. I'm going to put a link in the description to for y'all to be able to view that podcast in its entirety, but I couldn't find the clips for this episode that I'm doing now, because that episode was 3 hours and 47 minutes long. It's a good one, though. It's one of the best ones on my channel, to be honest with you, though. And I couldn't find the clips for this, but he said a few things, and he was talking about what he would do differently if he was the mayor of Memphis. And if you're from Memphis and watching this, man, what do y'all think about y'all mayor? And also the quote that brother spoke about leadership, love and leadership. Man, I don't think that exists in America, love and leadership, unless you're an independent company, unless you own your own and you're hiring people that, you care about, that you want to see win, that you want to see evolve, that you want to help contribute to their success and their health and life. Because, I don't see that from Trump. I don't see that from these sporting leagues. They'll kick you out if you don't abide by the rules. I don't see that from these Fortune 500 companies. If you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing and working accordingly, if you get too old and you're about to retire, they'll fire you before you can retire. It's just that it's weird, man. This country is weird, and that was a powerful statement. Let's get back to the video. We're going to listen to a little bit more of the video, and then I want to play another video from this incident, and I want to play the incident of what happened and give my reaction to it, because I feel as if, man, they did that brother so wrong, it don't make no sense to me.
The blood of Tyre Nichols is on this city. Mayor Young inherited the blood of Tyre Nichols. You got to ask yourself, what are you going to do?
What you gonna do?
Because the ball is in your court now to deliver a measure of justice for the family of Tyre Nichols.
Yes, sir.
This judge, in my humble opinion, he should have never permitted the defense to bring in certain things that was in Tyre Nichols' car.
Yeah.
It was absolutely irrelevant to the case.
Irrelevant.
But it's okay, because Miss Rovan and Pop, when we went to get the car from the city pound, Tyre Nichols' car, and we looked in his car. I looked in his car, and the first thing I looked in his rearview mirror. And he had an emblem on the rearview mirror that said, Black Lives Matter.
Wow.
Tyre loved his own black life.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Tyre Nichols was a humanitarian. Tyre Nichols was a man who loved humanity. We witnessed a jury that had no love for Tyre Nichols' black life. They actually didn't give a damn about Tyre Nichols' black life. But we give a damn about Tyre Nichols' black life. We love Tyre Nichols. And not only do we love Tyre Nichols, God loves Tyre Nichols. And for the life of me, God did not allow Tyre Nichols to be beaten to death by these black officers, these 5 black officers. His life is not in vain. And it's interesting that those 5 black officers, Tyre Nichols' black life didn't matter to them.
Come on. Yeah.
Tadarius Bean, Justin Smith, Demetrius Haley, justice don't sleep.
That's right.
You have not escaped justice.
That's right.
I got something I want to say and something I want to talk about for a moment. Like, I commend this brother for speaking and standing on business clearly. But I want to pose a question that's striking my mind right now as I watch this. Is reform even possible inside a system that has always protected their own? What's it going to take to reform the structure of policing and, getting verdicts changed to where it benefits the people? We're going to look at that video, but I just wanted to pose that question. Is reform even possible in a system that has always protected its own first? Another thing that comes to my mind, though, about this is that these officers are black, man. The race can't use the excuse that these are white people and these are white officers and all of that, because they're not. The system will get people to abide by their rules because we integrate it and we integrate it into their systems. So it actually makes us no different than them, the people who created the system, no matter the color. A lot of people don't talk about class nowadays, but I've come to realize what's more important. Because since we integrated in the system, if you working and you are a part of the system, then you're no different than the people that you consider to be the opposition. Just my opinion. Because you're living and you're working and you're abiding by the rules of the system. So them being black officers, that's just a terminology, man. They really ain't black. They're obedient to the system. They're obedient to the system. The race doesn't matter. It's the systematic system. So how does this affect y'all views of what happened? And, a lot of people don't want to live amongst their own. especially when you see things like this. Memphis is the city with the most black people, one of the most historical black cities in the United States. It's where Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. It's a city where young Dolph was assassinated. A lot of culture and genres of music was created out of Memphis. Is that a city you would want to live in as a black person? Because a lot of us don't want to live amongst the violence once we get some money. You get some money and you move out. Then you move to a community where the people don't look like you and they don't like you either, and they don't want you there. And they change the rules and regulations in that community also. But me, it's just interesting and intriguing to hear this brother speak. And I like the way he's speaking. Let's get back to it though, man. I want to hear somebody else different talk. Though, to be honest with you, I'm going to skip around. I think this is where the verdict is being spoken at. Let's get back to it.
And until you atone to God for that brutal beating that you put on Tyre Nichols, to Darius Bean, Justin Smith, Demetrius Haley, until you atone to God for that brutal beating that you gave Tyre Nichols and took his life, until you atone to this woman for taking the life of her son, who screamed when he was 200 feet from his front door. He cried out 3 times to his mama. Until you atone to that woman, you will have no justice.
No justice.
No justice and no peace in your life.
Justice and no peace. No peace.
Right now, the chastisement of God is over them. They may have gotten off by an all-white jury, but there's an all-wise God that is here to deliver justice for this family.
I want to listen to some of the video. I want to watch some of the video where the brother was being, you know what I mean, brutalized or whatever, and check out the reaction to it or whatever though. But it's a video I'm about to play right now that says, new video appears to show Memphis officers not having a reason for pulling over Tyre Nichols. Hold on. Let me pause it and make it big for y'all. Pause. Let's get right to it.
Well, we start tonight with breaking news. The city of Memphis releasing 43 videos and more than 20 hours of new footage of Tyre Nichols' deadly encounter with former members of the Memphis Police Department's Scorpion Unit. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Richard Ransom.
And I'm Pepper Baker. Now, while the new footage shines a little more light on what happened 1 year ago, it also raises more questions about this monumental case.
We'll get analysis from experts here in the studio with us shortly. But first, ABC 24's Stephen Pimpo breaks down what he discovered today. Stephen?
Richard, Pepper, one of the main themes we continue to come up against while reviewing this footage revolves around the ex-Memphis police officers involved in Tyre Nichols' death contradicting each other on camera, especially when it comes to why they pulled him over and the degree to which Nichols allegedly resisted arrest.
He started fighting with us and took off, and he got pepper sprayed and took off running. They did catch him. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Not Tyre.
This interaction between Tyre Nichols' mother, Rovon Wells, and former Memphis police officer Preston Hemphill is just some of the newly released footage from the night of her son's death after a traffic stop by the now disbanded MPD Scorpion Unit. MPD has said Nichols was initially pulled over for reckless driving. But here's what new body camera footage shows.
What was the original stop for? PC, then evading
Well, you can't do
what unit transported
vehicle,
that stabbed victim in?
because then that means it was pursuit.
Former officer Demetrius Haley had a different answer.
Yeah, he was drove into oncoming traffic. So we tried to, I'm talking about, he lived. Yes, all this traffic. I'm talking, so we tried to get him stopped.
This is one of the calls into dispatch from officers pursuing Nichols.
Okay, you have any charges on him?
There's no answer. Haley also claims Nichols tried to attack him and tried to grab another officer's gun.
Took a swing, grabbed Martin, tried to grab Martin's gun. He had a whole grip on him. I'm talking about he grabbed it, man, still like this.
But this is how Officer Hemphill described his interaction with Nichols.
Dude was very polite while resisting. I'll give him credit.
What was he saying?
We're telling him, get on the ground. Okay, officers, I'm getting on the ground. This is what I'm doing. Okay, officers, whatever you say, and not doing. He was politely resisting.
But it still cost Nichols his life.
You see the inconsistencies in the police's conversation? That is alarming. Because one is saying that he was resisting and grabbing for the gun. The white guy is saying that he was polite in manner when they had him apprehended. So if he was polite in manner, why did he have to die? If If he was polite in manner, why did he have to die? If he grabbed for the gun, why didn't you react with the gun and start shooting instead of continuously beating him? You know, man, I remember watching this video that I'm about to play and listening to those guys speak. And to be honest with you, I might not even play this, man. Just go research it yourself if you got the time. Y'all can see it. You know, it's right. Where is that? It's right here, man. That one at the top. Y'all just hit your search engine and put the same thing that you see up there in your search engine, because, you know, I'm the type of person that I thrive off frequencies and vibrations, and I normally don't talk about stuff like this because it affects me in a way that I really don't like. To the dark side, talking about the news and stuff, though, but this is relevant to my home state, and it's relevant because it's something that I covered. And knowing that these brothers is in like a fraternity also, knowing these brothers is a part of the white power structure and being obedient to, you know, the system, is interesting, man, and it's foul. And I want to know what can be done. You know, I heard the brother, you know, sometimes I think that we brainwashed by spirituality and religion and don't react initially with the same way that they used to react to us when they created this atmosphere of fear and violence. Hey, man, let's chop this up in the comment section. Real talk. What's y'all thoughts, y'all initial thoughts when y'all heard that justice was denied for Tyre Nichols? Real spill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.